There we go. Thanks, Alice. I told you I was notorious at not recording. I managed the last couple of sessions. All right, off you go. Do a little bit of a warm up just to get things going. Punchy warm up, Clara. Sore wrists. Ruan, can you adjust your camera so it tilts up a little bit? I can only see you when you're kneeling down. Please, if you can. Yeah, cool, thank you. Because then I can see you up the wall as well. I might ask for it back with your bakasana and stuff. Okay, guys, when you're ready, if you can show me your version of headless headstand, forearm balance against the wall, whatever your version is. Run, that looks brilliant. Show me how you get up again. Whoa, Amy, nice. Okay, nice getting up. Cool. Okay, Belinda, you're too far away from the wall. Annalise, that looks amazing. Okay, D, rocking it. Fantastic. Okay, Alice, look, Alice, come out of the back bend. Try and take one leg off the wall and squeeze your bum. Yes, now squeeze your bum. Squeeze your bum so you posterior tilting the pelvis. Yes, squeeze that bum. Nicole, looking good. Okay, elbows look a little bit wide, but it was too difficult for me to see. Sinead looks excellent. Marley, good. Also, elbows might be a little bit too wide. Clara, that looks good. Lara, good. That was a good one, Lara. Just good. Yes, Belinda, even closer. Don't walk yourself in with your forearms, though. Elaine, that looks excellent. Drop your bum a little bit to the wall. Yes. Okay, you may be a little bit far away, but I can't tell from this angle, but that looks great. Well done. Excellent. Okay, looked brilliant. Marley, I was just not sure if your elbows were a little bit far up, but again, it's angle dependent. Whoa, Belinda's trying a kick up. Whoa, nice, good. Guys, this is excellent. Michaela, I can't see you, so I can't comment. I hope you're doing it at home. That looked excellent. Well done. Okay, so that pose requires way more strength with your head off the ground than Bakasana or side crow. Okay, way more strength. Okay? So side crows just, or crow, they just, you know, you just got to lean a little bit, and then there is strength there, but nothing compared to this. If you can hold this or a handstand in this shape for 30 seconds, you will build the most incredible strength for yoga. Okay, Bakasana and crow, not so much. They don't really build you strength. What is really good is Bakasana push-ups. They're quite good for building strength. But guys, that looked superb. Well done. Excellent. All of you. Really, really good. All right. So now can you please show me from the side first? We're going to do 2 crows. Okay. Your version from the side. So have your side facing the camera, and then we're going to do it with you facing the camera, as in your face facing the camera. So I just want to see your crows, and I have to look quite quickly because you all okay, find your shape. Okay, Nicole, got it. Yes, Belinda, that's it. Nice, good, got it. Good. Clara, lift your feet up. I'm making it perfect. Now straighten your arms. Straighten your arms. Alice, got it. Nice.
Sorry, Catherine, I'm having problems. Not now.
I can't. Michaela, is that you speaking?
Yes, I was having problems with my video.
Ah, don't worry about it. It's fine. I understand tech stuff. Elaine, that looks good. Now see if you can press into your arms, your hands, and squeeze your elbows in and just look forward, not down. Look forward. The shape looks really good. Yes. And now come up higher onto your toes. Don't feel like you need to go any further. Go up higher on. Yes. Nice. Perfect shape. Perfect. Ruan, got it. Nice. Ah, there's Michaela. Amy, I didn't see you. Sorry, guys. Oh, Marley, are you okay? Good having that pillow there. Nice bravery. Excellent. Sinead, I'm sorry. I haven't been able to see you. Ah, Lara, good, 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 good. Like the looking for. You can see, though, even if somebody's not coming up, like if we look at Elaine's shape here. So, Elaine, give us the shape again. And then lean forward. Yes, she's in a crow shape. All that's happening is that there's a confidence issue there. So that means build up your arm strength and you'll get the confidence. Okay. Michaela, nice. Try not to flick, Michaela. Just lean and your toes will come up. Okay. Good. Sinead, good. I like that. Brave. Okay. So it's looking good. Did I see Amy? Did I see you, Amy? You're like a tiny thing against your bed. Marley, this is excellent. Don't, are you okay? Yes, Amy. Okay, Amy, you're just too low to the ground. Bend your arms a little less, right? Marley, are you okay? Yes.
Yeah, Catherine, you see all the falling ones. So I've actually got a couple of good ones. And I just look like I'm all over the place.
I'm much more impressed by falling and then feeling okay about it than I am about crow. Honestly, it's like watching somebody fall and then go, oh no, it's cool. Hey, Sinead, excellent. Okay, it's really fantastic to see, but just, you know, careful your wrists. Okay, all right. D, I didn't see you. You're gonna have to show me. Actually, don't show me yet because I'm gonna turn you all around. I don't want to tire you out. Okay, all right. Okay, all right, guys. So now can you do it facing me so I can see the positioning of your arms? And I'm not expecting you to come up. If you're not ready to come up, that's totally cool. And also understand that if you're not ready to come up, 90% of your students aren't either, so you can help them. Okay. So let's get the shape. So D, that looks good. It's quite difficult for me to see you. but it looks good. Not because it's just the camera angle is down, so I'm seeing your back. Okay. Belinda, bring your arms in a little bit more. They're out wide to the side. Bring them in a little bit more. Remember, look forward, guys. Ah. So Elaine, yeah, elbows in a little bit more. It's difficult, the camera angle. Bring your elbows in a little bit. Yes, your knees are in. Bring your toes together. Yes, that's it. You've got the shape. Okay, you've got the shape. Elbows in a little bit more. Nice, Ran. I can just see it. And lean forward, look forward. Squeeze your knees in a little bit more. Yes, good shape. Okay, and you can feel that pressure on your upper arms. It's an excellent shape. You're totally cool. Okay, so Dee, for me, it's quite difficult to see you. So I might ask you.
Go to the back of the mat, maybe. If I go to the back of the mat.
Yeah, no, I can. Let me see you from the side. Yeah, let me see you from the side, because from the front, all I can see is your back, because the camera is quite high up. Okay. All right. Come up onto your toes, Dee. Yes, that's it. Yes, onto your toes. Onto bum up in the air. Okay. All right. Lean forward. That's good. Okay, so Dee, I want you to send me a video like you did last week, because I'm seeing you from an angle. I want you to get your bum a little bit further down. So send me a video just so I can see it properly, right? But you're in the right shape. But did everybody see, again, it's difficult because of Dee's camera angle, but it looked like Dee's bum was quite high up. Did you see? Could you see that? So if I show you what the difference is, and this is a really good thing to understand for teaching. Okay, so crow can be done in so many different ways, but when you're teaching, spotlight the stupid video. Okay, so when you're teaching it, right, people start like this, and this was like Dee said, so her arms are in quite a good shape, but then what happens is this, yeah? So this is almost like a headstand, right? I mean a floating headstand, but it's way more scary for people because their bum's up and they almost go to face plant, like head, and somebody wants to be admitted. I'm going to be there in a second. I can't see who it is from there, okay? So this can be very scary. So what we actually want to do is think much more about going forward, okay? So that means coming up, rather than bum up and my heels are still quite low, it's actually coming more up. Can you see? I'm up on my toes, which takes my bum up, then I lean more forward, okay? My bum does go up, but it's not like that, okay? It's going like this, forward. Okay, leaning forward, then maybe one leg up, other leg up, but I'm leaning forward. Alice, hang on a sec. And pen. Did everybody understand that? Dee, did you understand what I was doing? Can you see what the difference is?
Yeah, I really can. Yeah,
okay.
Whether I can do it is another thing, but I'll do my best.
It's all good. It's again, we go back to that thing. It's just a shape, and we're just putting our body into a particular shape, and we have to kind of work out what's the most effective shape for that particular person. And that means what their body is like, where they are in their strength, their flexibility, their skill understanding, their fear. All of those things, you know, because to do it with your bum high up in the air is really fine, absolutely fine, but it's way harder, it requires more strength, and it's more scary as well. So we're just looking at it in a different way. And to have that, when you're teaching somebody, then, you know, when you guide them, and you will in the adjustment videos, you'll see, and Laura will talk to you about it, you actually guide somebody towards you when you're helping somebody do crow. You'll see me do it with my stepdaughter, Erin. I literally have my hands almost under her shoulders, and I guide her to me like this. I don't guide her down, because that's the big fear for us all, right? It's like face smash down. So going forward, that looking forward and going forward. And yes, your bum absolutely comes up, but just not like that. Okay? It's just plain. Sorry, Dee?
It feels to me as though the area that I'm really lacking the strength in is here. Is that possible?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's what I feel. You know, I feel like there's nothing there. It's like I don't even feel like I can engage it.
Okay, but there, well done. Because what you've done there is gone, hey, I can create the shape. What is lacking? I feel like I'm lacking forearm strength. Fantastic. Because guess what? What's the easiest thing for us to change in our yoga practice? Strength. It's like the easiest thing, right? So if you feel, and then if you are feeling, I mean, think about what Dee just said. She said, I feel like I cannot even engage those muscles. So if somebody's mind is going, I feel like I can't even engage those muscles, then that's going to translate immediately into a lack of confidence in your arms, obviously, and the fact that you might face smash, right? It's going to increase your fear. So what we need you to do, Dee, is what? Go build that strength. The best way of, besides, I mean, I can give you, send me a message, I'll give you some stuff that you can do at home that isn't yoga for forearm strength, okay? For things like forearm strength, if it's yoga-ish, it's things like in handstand wall holds, straight arms. Okay, that's what you need. And also for you, lowering to chaturanga. Okay, it's the same kind of action, because when you're in Bakasana in crow, the action is a pushing into the ground, resisting gravity, okay? You're resisting lowering down, and that you get strong enough to stop at any point that you want to. And that's the feeling of crow. You push into the ground, you're resisting gravity, and so that you can push hard enough that you won't actually go on the ground. But I can give you outside of it, and this is why I really think strength training for yoga is absolutely key. I can give you some little weight exercises that within 2 weeks you will be stronger, and that'll take you like 3 minutes, 3 times a week.
Okay? I love that. I really would love that. The other thing is, I'm looking at your back and your rounding. Can we just have a look at your wrist in relation to your forearm in crow?
In crow, look, it really depends what version of crow you're doing. So I'll show you. Clara, I'll be with you in a sec. Okay, right. So it depends on what version. If I'm doing a bent arm, a beginner's crow, my wrist angle is going to be about 90 degrees, right? I'm going to do a kind of baby crow. So I do this. There's my wrist angle. There's my baby beginner crow. Okay? And you can see it's pretty much 90, right? And that, working on that will be things like your chaturanga. So even I'm not a fan of leading chaturanga, it's okay. But if I'm in chaturanga and I just do 90 degrees, resisting, slowly, stop. This is my crow, slowly stop. This is my crow, this is my crow. I'm resisting. It's the same thing. It's the same thing as what I'm doing in crow. So the minute you can do those 3 times a week, and you do 3 sets of, let's say 3 sets of 3, then 3 sets of 5, slowly lowering, resisting. The minute you go back to crow, it's going to be so much easier. The straight arm version of crow is much more wrist extension work. You can see, look how far over my wrists I have to go just to lift that. See, and that's real wrist extension work and some serious arm strength as well. But the minute you go back to your chaturangas, I'm putting you all, I like to see you all. Okay. The minute you go back to those chaturangas, if you do those for 2 weeks, 3 times a week, honestly, let's say 2 times a week, then you will go back to crow, side crow, all of those things. Chaturanga is way harder, strength-wise, than Bakasana and side Bakasana. Way harder, okay? It's, if you look at the manual and you look at where it's put in the easy to hard pose progression, it's way at the end. It's one of our strongest yet most commonly taught poses. It's seriously strong if you resist it. So add that a little bit in and see, I promise you in 2 weeks you'll be stronger. That's the great thing. it's once you start doing strength work, you'll be like, I can't believe it. It works so quickly. And if you send me a message, and I will give you some weight work to do as well for your forearms and your, again, 2 weeks, you'll be like, oh my word, and you'll be pointing and showing it to people. You'll be going, look at my muscle. I never knew I had that, okay? It's quick, and it really translates into, for me anyway, the minute I do weight work, strength work, it makes me feel mentally stronger, emotionally stronger. I don't know why it does that, but it translates way more than just doing a yoga practice to me feeling, hey, bring it on. I don't know what it is, but it really makes most people feel very good. Okay, enough babble. Clara.
There we go. No, I just wanted to share two things that really helped me with this pose, because I've never been able to do it before we did it last time. And the one was, instead of thinking about like lifting up the feet, like folding your leg kind of helped me. So like in the three-legged dog, where you kind of open your hips and you tighten your bum and take your foot towards the bum, like that feeling helped a lot for me, and like kind of squeezing in, and really like that feeling really gave me like a completely different experience of feeling like things are not falling out from the shape.
Yes,
and
it is that, but for you're down a little bit further down the journey, because, and this is the classic thing that happens with arm balances and inversions, is people's brains are so focused on the fear of falling, the fear that their arms will not hold them, that they will not hear a single thing that you say to them about squeezing the bum. The bum high thing is, you'll see when you go out there and you teach crow, and you will say, bring your bum down, and people are like, will not do it. It's really a thing, because it's just because their brains are so focused in on the actual real fear of falling, so they can't even hear you yet. And you need to know that as teachers and as practitioners, they can't hear you because the fear. It's, remember I was telling you about when I thought I was jumping up really high from down dog to, and I videoed myself and I was jumping about this much. So, and people would say to me, hips up, Catherine, come on, hips up. And I'm like, blah, 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 you know, and you'll see when you teach handstand and things, and you'll say to somebody, no, you're leaning way over on the left. They have no idea what you're talking about. Like literally, you're looking at them, you lean here, pointing at them when they're in and their brains are just so focused on that they can't even hear that yet. So it's almost like you have to get the confidence first. My arms feel good. I trust my arms. And only then will people hear the bum at the next skill stages, which is exactly what Clara is saying. Absolutely. Heel squeezing into your bum, making yourself into this little ball of shape that you can move forwards and back. So you're contained. You're contained. And it's absolutely right. And even then, you know, once you've got that, then it's even more. Then it's like I said to you, Clara, straighten your arms. And you heard me say bring heels to bum, but the straighten arms thing didn't translate yet because it's not there yet. But it will be, you know. So it's like you give these instructions, but you'll see with your students, they will only hear what they're ready to hear. They will not hear what you've said before. I've learned the hard way over years and years and years. Okay, so it's all of, because it's complex. We do weird things with our bodies. All right, guys. Side crow. From the side, please. And We'll do from the side first. Can you do both sides so I get a chance? Again, finding your shape is way more important. Way more important. If you're doing 2 arms, think chaturanga arms. Alice, nice. Up on your toes, Alice. Yes. There. Don't flick up. Lean. That was good. Don't flick up. You just need to lean. Michaela, looking good. Nicole, good. Excellent. Run up nice. Sinead, up nice. Come on. Yeah, Clara, it's good. That's it. Belinda, that's it. I like the bolster. Yes. That's it. Good. Elaine, let me see your arms. Put yourself into the shape. I can't see. Are you bending? You're not bending your arms. I need you to bend your arms. Like as if you're going forward. Can you see in your own video how straight your arms are? Yes, 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 yes. Perfect shape. Now, do not look down. Look forward. Yes, that's it. And now bend your arms a little bit more, but you don't have to come up. Be up on your toes, Elaine. Yes. Okay. Elaine, you've got the shape for this. It's like really totally cool. You've absolutely got the shape. I can't hear you. Sorry, I'm laughing. Sorry, I'm laughing at Alice with her face on the floor. Sorry, carry on.
It really hurts my knee, this position, Catherine.
On both sides?
Just the one closest, the angle.
But does it hurt? Do both knees hurt?
No, just this one with the twist.
Okay, and then so twist to the other side then, and does the other knee hurt then, or what hurts then?
No, it's more the one.
It's just the one. So stick to that side for your pose demos then. You only need to do one side. It's fine. So bend your arms and get your left arm to your outside of your thigh. Yes. That's it. Okay. Look at your hands, Elaine. What are you doing? Hands face forward. Yes. And bend. Yeah. Come up onto your toes. Yeah. Okay, we're going to do some videos of this because I want you to see yourself in a video. Guys, don't kill yourself in side crow because I've just been looking at Elaine. So Elaine, you've definitely got the shape. We just need to fiddle a little bit and then just get a little bit of a better shape. And within a month, I could get you up, like no problem at all. You've got the shape. It's the same thing as D. It's a confidence thing with your arm and just feeling, because once you've got the shape and you, sorry, I keep laughing at Alice. Look what she does. She goes like this and lies on the side. It's another way of getting the pose, right? Is to put your face on the floor. Put your face on the floor again, Alice, so you can see. It's fun. See, she just puts her face on the floor. And that's completely fantastic. And look, she's laughing. And she's coming up from the floor rather than leaning forward, which is, you could do it with, Belinda's got the bolster there. You can do it by lying on the bolster and then lifting up. If your body can get into that shape to get to the floor. So this is looking good, guys. And I'm going to look at you from the front. So try not to kill your wrists too much, Rowan. Oh, I like those. Look at those feet crossing. Cute. Okay. All right. It's just a shape, and then you lean. So we can see Belinda's leaning. Don't flick up. Yes. Yes, Belinda. That's great. Nice. So this is the thing. In all of the arm balances, we don't want to flick up. Our leaning causes our legs to lift. The flicking up is the scary bit. Yes, that's right. So Clara, now let's see if you can straighten your legs. One leg straight to the side. Oh, both legs. There you go. There's always more, right? This is the thing with yoga. There's always more. You get to a point and I will just say to you, okay, now do this. Okay, and then if you can do that and you do the one where you twist out, so I'll show it to you again, then you know the ultimate stage is going into a handstand and lowering and doing that shape. It's never ending. It's like no one's ever going to say to you, well done, you're a fantastic practitioner, you're done now. There's always more to do. If you buy Light on Yoga, BKS's Iyengar book, which is the Bible of all yoga poses and stuff that we've thrown in over the years, most people can do probably 10% of those poses in there. Okay? It's all good. Just shape. That's it. Good. All right. Okay. If your wrists are feeling okay, can you please show me, or actually, regardless, can you please show me your side crow from the front? Okay, it can be whichever version, so the 2-arm version or the 1-arm version. It's entirely up to you. I want to see your shape. If you want to come up, do so. If you don't, don't. Okay, look forward, Ruan, not down. Okay, Elaine, show me your shape. Shape is everything. Everything. Shape plus strength. That's all it is. Okay. Laura, looking good. Okay, I like the looking and the leaning forward. So Elaine, bring your left arm to your thigh. That's your right, your left arm. I can't see, is it on your thigh? Yeah, that one. That one. Okay, Laura, that's looking good. Michaela, let me see. Draw your arms in. Remember, we need to create a bent arm. Amy, that looks good. Bent arm shape is the main thing, if we can. This is looking good. Annalise, have you got your head on the floor, or are you just floating up? You got your head on the floor. Well done, because it's such a cool way to try it. Alice, look at Alice with her head on the floor. Okay? It's fantastic. Be creative. Sinead, Sinead just did like a little collapse. Marley, that shape looks fantastic. Well done. Okay. Good. We're all alive. Right. It's just a play. Okay. Get the shape right. So Elaine, I want you to send me some videos. Dee and Elaine, I want you to send me videos of your side crow, and then I will feed back onto real points. But I need to see you properly because I'm looking at different angles and things like that. Okay, D, not side crow, D crow. Right? Not side crow is fine. Elaine?
Yeah, Catherine, it's definitely, you know, I don't have the best knees, and I'm feeling like a very sharp searing pain actually on this side now as well in this position.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's because
it's just load on your knees because it's, you know, you're down in that position for quite a long time. So obviously take a break, and then we'll try and do it instead of you trying to do anything, we need to just get your arms in the right shape. That's it. So we can even do that with no load. We can do that, as we know, we just do it with, you know, we can do it from seated. I can get your arms in the right shape. Okay. So we can always find a way, and this is the thing. And again, it's that spectrum of stuff. It's that we can do poses with a lot of load, or we can do poses with no load. So we can do a side crow in a completely, sorry, I can't really do anything yet, completely seated position. That's my side crow. I've got no load on my knees. Okay? It's exactly the same shape. And I can do it with full load, which is, you know, really leaning over and taking my whole body weight up. Okay? Or like Alice's version, which I just love, which is having my face on the floor, and then it's taking the load away. Right? And it's all good and super fun. It made her laugh a lot. Look how she's laughing. Okay, so that's what I want to see from you, Elaine, when you send me videos, please, in the next couple of days. I want you to recreate the shape in a way that your knees don't hurt. And that can be from seated. I want you to get your arms, the minute you get your arms in the right position, that's your crow. And if at a certain point in time your knees are not feeling up to it, or your wrists are not feeling up to it, you can still recreate that shape. okay? Which means that you can, doesn't matter if you're injured or whatever. As a yoga teacher, you get injured all the time. I don't anymore. I used to, because I don't demonstrate it, or very rarely. I don't demonstrate a whole class. But, you know, and then you have to find ways around stuff. It's all good. All right. Okay, so I need to show you, what's the time, 11:30. I need to show you Lotus, okay? And Ruan, I'll get you in a second. And I need to know if there are other poses that you want to explore a little bit more that maybe haven't been touched on, or you want to understand anymore. Does anybody want any other poses taught, or is Lotus it and you're all happy?
Long bridge.
Pardon?
Long bridge.
I don't know what that is.
Nor do I.
Long bridge.
Yeah, I think
Jenny Rowling does it in one of her videos.
Sorry?
On YouTube. Jenny Rowling.
Long bridge. Don't know what it is. Somebody has to show me.
I think Laura asked for short bridge, the bridge in short version and long.
So long version is, so when you're going up into your normal bridge, your legs are basically 90 degrees. And if you do long bridge, then it's to strengthen the hamstring. So it's actually taking.
Oh, like per vortasana leg. Yeah.
So taking them like this.
Yeah.
And then lifting up.
Yeah. Okay. Is that what you want, Dee?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. It's just moving your legs in a different place, but we'll do that. Ruan?
So I'm still having the same problem on the left-hand side, but I did realize something from my last kind of like weightlifting workout and even today. So on the right-hand side, it's easier for me to do the two-handed or two-arm side crow. On the left-hand side, it's easier for me to do the one. And I think I've got a muscle imbalance on my left arm, because this arm definitely feels weaker when I do that pose. So by going on the left-hand side, I'm just balancing on the right arm. So that's something I realize now, but it's, it's very interesting.
Can you feel it in other poses that your left arm feels weaker?
No. It's just, it's something about that position where it doesn't feel like I'm going for it. It feels like this arm's going to give away and then I'm going to topple. And it's not a fear thing, because I've fallen on my face in crow, so it's just weird.
You're not nervous at all. So what are you going to do about it, Rowan?
I'm going to have to do more tricep press downs, I guess.
Exactly. And that's it. So what we would do then is go, okay, whether there is an imbalance or not, we have no idea. But what we need Rowan to understand, his brain to comprehend, is that actually he is strong enough, or he needs to be stronger. Those are the two kind of options, right? So all he then has to do is go, what's his left arm? Go and do this kind of action with a weight to make it stronger, and to actually maybe do chaturangas, but leaning on the left side. Okay, so not a free one arm, well, you could do one arm push-ups, I guess, if you're strong enough. Okay, but actually leaning way more on the left-hand side, like translating that information on the left-hand side. And the other really good thing to do, which is something that made me realize, especially around shoulders, is when you're doing a wall hold, and this is only recommended for people who, like Rowan, who's strong enough, is start leaning more on one arm and then see if you can cup your fingers, and then lean on the other arm on a wall hold facing the wall, and start, even if you can't lift your arm up, cup. And then, because that feeling of, because that's the exact translation, it, the minute you start to cup your hand, you're like, whoa, hang on a second, can my shoulder hold that? Because it's precarious, right? But then it somehow, your shoulder can hold you, and it somehow translates into your mind going, sometimes things need to be switched on. I think, I shouldn't say that, because that's absolutely anatomically incorrect, right? It's on already, but your brain needs to recognize, I'm safe here, and not have your nervous system being alerted to danger when there's no danger inside crow. Look at the puppy. So cute. Clara.
It's funny that you're saying this, Ren, because for me, what I realized is, oh, I don't know if I realized it, but my thought process was that the reason I'm having the same kind of thing with my hands to do both more easily on one and on one on the other side, I thought it was about my twist, like how far I can actually twist my body. So that was just a thought. And then for poses, I thought maybe wheel and hurdler if we have time.
Wheel and?
Hurdler or compass, maybe it's also called.
Can you show me or give me a vague idea of what it is?
So like that one, and then straighten out.
Ah, okay. So hurdlers. Okay. So Ekapada Kundiyasana 2. I only know the Sanskrit word. So hurdlers. Okay. So we'll do that. So we've got long bridge, wheel, hurdlers, and lotus. Okay. Elaine? I should write these down. Elaine?
Yes, thanks. What I wanted to ask you is just with strength training. So say, for example, we're doing extra chaturangas to build strength, like and the exercises that you're recommending, like how many should we be doing? And I mean, is it better to do them all at once or do them throughout the day? I mean, because I'm the kind of person, like, I need to kind of know exactly how many, otherwise I'm gonna like do a few and then, oh my god, I'm dead, and then give up, you know. But if I've got something to aim for,
the key to any, so I would just start, if you, depending on what you want to strength train, but for yoga it's straight arm strength and bent arm strength. Okay, those are the two main things, upper body strength, that you need to do. Okay, so bent arm strength is your chaturangas, your chaturanga negative, so lowering towards the ground. Straight arm strength is your wall holds. Okay, those are the two basic poses, right? The idea is to be able to do 3 sets. Okay, and of how many in each set is dependent on how strong you are, right? So I would say with chaturanga, for example, I would start off with 3 sets of 3, lowering to the count of 10. Okay? Lower, pause, lower, pause, lower, pause, lower, pause, right down to the ground. 3 times, break for 30 seconds again, right? What should happen is in your 3rd set, you should feel finished. On your last one, you should be going, oh, I could not do another one if you paid me, right? If you feel like you can do another 3, then you know actually you need to have 4 in your sets, or maybe 5. Okay, so the idea is to be fatigued at the end of your 3rd set. Right? So it's very difficult to say 5 or so. If the minute you can do 5 or 6 in a set, lowering down, okay, is the minute that you then have to start pushing up, because the only way to get stronger is to increase the load, okay, to increase the resistance is how you look at it. So you have to adapt, because you know, if you can get to 8 negatives lowering down times 3 and you can do them really easily, that means you are no longer going to get strong doing that. So and there's no point increasing it to 10 or 12. That's more endurance strength. Then you need to start pushing up. But again, this is going to be something that is going to be on the membership side for all the teachers, is specific drills for getting stronger for yoga. Body weight stuff, there may be some weight stuff, but Jenny Rawlings does that. I don't have the time to do that, but I prefer body weight stuff, so there'll be a lot of body weight exercises there, right? Straight arm strength, wall holds, build up to 3 for 30 seconds. You will almost die doing that, okay? The minute you can do that, it's like, wow, you are strong. And you want to be doing it 3 times a week, right? 5 minutes, 10 minutes at a time, and then add it to you can do it before your yoga practice or whenever, you know, it's just fit it in. Okay. All right.
can you demonstrate wall hold for us?
It's exactly what you were doing. I'll do it now because we'll start doing some of the other poses. It's exactly what you were doing So if I do it from the side, we did it last week. So I walk in. So for most people, if you place your hands far away, you have to start walking them back when you're in a handstand, which is actually quite challenging. So try and get your hands, sorry, this time I hear it properly. Try and get your hands fairly close. Push it to the ground, take your leg up. We did this last week. Hold here. But preferably, what you want to do is hold here. You don't want your bum sticking out like this. You want your bum down. And you hold. And you might be able to hold for 5 seconds. Ideally, it's 30 seconds. Lean forward to come out, put it down. There we go. Is that okay, Elaine?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then there'll be much more specific stuff in the strength training stuff. So I'm going to go through Lotus with you just because I want to put you, I'm going to demonstrate it and then we'll have a look at you. Guess who won't be able to do Lotus? Put your hand up if you think, well done, Rowan. Rowan, I pronounced your name wrong. Okay, so the whole point of Lotus is it's a big hip external rotation pose, okay? There's lots of hip external rotation poses in yoga, things like compass, putting your foot behind you, all of those things. Butterfly, extreme pigeon with your shin, fire log, all of those kind of things. So with Lotus, and we'll do a little explore. The first thing is, right, in order to, I want you to just, I'm going to actually sit on the floor because black against black is not going to work so well. Right. Sit here. All right. So the first thing is with Lotus, okay, I'm sitting on a bolster. If I can create this shape, then you could look at your student or yourself and go, oh, maybe there's a potential for doing Lotus. If I'm like this when I sit down, it's going to be a problem, right? It's not going to happen. We have to have quite a serious degree of hip external rotation to be able to do it. And the way we end up gauging it is with one leg, right? What I want to do is turn my leg up like this. Okay? See if I can slide, sit on the ground, sorry. See if I can slide my one leg here, and look what happens when I slide it in. My knee is almost on the ground, okay? If my knee is like this, when I'm sitting here, this is like a no-go for Lotus, because if I take this leg and put it on top of this leg, that's load, and that's me pushing heavily down onto my knee, and this is not a fun thing for knees, right? But if I'm able to get my leg into that shape, then I've got a chance of doing Lotus. There's different ways of doing it, okay? The more I take my foot further over, the higher my knee is off the ground. If I use my ankle mobility, and I do that, no, my knee is closer to the ground. So this is a much easier position to do Lotus in, okay? Because I'm using my ankle to create the shape, not just hip external rotation. But the gauge really is, can I get my knee fairly close to the ground in this shape or this shape? If I'm in this shape, my knee's right down to the ground, I bring the other leg in, literally pick my leg up and I slide, okay? And you will see that this knee is off the floor. It has to be off the floor because it's on top of my other leg, okay? But I'm sliding it in. If I'm here, I'm going to have to lift it up a little bit more because it's higher up, okay? So you can see how high it is off the ground. But the only thing I need you guys to know is if you cannot get this knee towards the ground, Lotus is not happening for you, right? It's just not happening. So now I just want to have a quick look at you all. And pin. And you don't get a gold star if you can do Lotus or any yoga pose. It's just stuff. Okay, all right. So there we've got a couple of Lotuses over there. So Clara's in Lotus. Yeah, you see, yeah. And Elise, I can see that knee is up. So yeah, that looks really good. Okay, look, Sinead's in Lotus. So if we look at Amy, if you look at Amy, you can see, if we look at Amy compared to Dee or Clara, can you see how Amy's using her ankle to get into a lotus shape? Her ankle is being stretched to get into that, which is totally cool, Amy. It's just a different way of doing the pose, right? So there you go. So if you look at Dee's top foot, she's got a very flex foot. Clara's also got a flex. They're not using their ankles. So if we look at Nicole, she's playing with it here a bit. That's cool. But let go. Can you see Nicole's ankle? Okay, and how high up Nicole's leg is off the ground. So then we wouldn't want Nicole to go up and put the other leg on top. Okay, yes, okay, so Lara also using ankle, which is good. Elaine's using ankle, all right? So some people are using ankle more than others. Marley's also using ankle. Belinda, not so much. You are using ankle on your bottom foot a little bit, which is totally cool. It's just a different way of doing it. And then we've got different, so Rihanna, are you in full lotus? Or no, you're not, you're in half lotus. Yeah, I was just like, it looks impressive though. It looks like you are. So, all right, so now all the people that are in lotus, see if you can pick your legs and your feet off the ground, your bum. Come on. Deep. Bring your knees into your chest. That's it. There's Clara rocking it. Okay. Yes. You see Belinda's up. Yeah. Good. Come on. Push. Yes. Good. All right. So, and now uncross your lotus legs. Okay. Sit cross-seated. Just normal cross-seated. And now pick your bum on and your legs off the floor. Clara, Belinda. So here's my example. This is what I said on the group. So Clara and Belinda were easily able to pick up with lotus legs. Easy, right? But to pick up with non-lotus legs is really, really hard. And this goes to Clara's point earlier of being in Bakasana, in crow, and her being a tight little ball. And there's the same thing with the pickup in lotus. It's really not challenging to pick your legs up when you're in a lotus bind. But the minute you uncross it, which is great, because it means that then the people in class, you can say, uncross your legs, everybody do it with crossed legs, pick your bum off the floor. So I would challenge you all in terms of strength to say, you should be able to pick your legs off the ground, okay? Cross-legged, like not lotus legs, right? Ruan, can you pick up with your legs just crossed? Yeah, see? You know, blocks are super helpful as well, but that is superb strength if you can do that. And that's also, if you look at Ruan and his arm balances, in his inversions, he's got confidence. He's not scared of them. And the reason he's not scared of them is because he's strong, right? Not because he's mad, as in crazy work on her. He's strong. He trusts his arms, but except in side crow on the one side for some reason. Okay? Just the left one in side crow. But the point is, it's because he's strong that he goes, well, I'm not going to fall over. Why would I fall over? My arms are strong. Right? Okay, and guys get it way easier. All right. Any questions around lotus? A lot of you can do it. Okay? And it is one of those poses that, like splits, some people can do it, some people can't. Who cares? It doesn't matter. There's thousands of poses. Alice.
Yeah, so for lotus, my knee doesn't reach the ground. So you want us to be able to, like, how do we demo this? You don't for those of us that cannot do it.
This session is really just for fun. Okay, you don't need to demo it. What I needed you to understand about lotus is so that you can, when you go out there, if people are doing lotus, you can understand, you know, if somebody's knee is off the ground in just the half lotus with the straight leg, you know, then they've got no business going into lotus, because it really will hurt their knee. And I'm really in the mind of, like, yeah, I don't like fear mongering around movement, any movement. But in Lotus, when people try and put that other leg on top of a high up leg, it can really do talky, nasty things to the knee. It's not fun at all. I've seen people do it.
And then a second question is, if sometimes when I sit on a bolster, I don't have one now, but my hips kind of open up more. So I don't know if that's a version to try with a bolster or just not if you can't do it without it.
You can try it with the bolster. It's so your hip external rotations, with taking the leg out to the side, is increased when you add hip flexion. So it means that if I try to do, I mean, I can do it because I can do it, but I'll show you. So if I try to do standing Lotus, Adho Padmottanasana, I don't know why my head is now always on top, but you can see my legs, okay? If I'm doing it with straight legs, so I'm not bending my hips, okay? I can get my leg to about here, right? So if I look at you from the side, can you see how it's jutting out, my leg? Okay. But look what happens the minute I bend my hips. I can take it up high. Look. Okay? So that's why when you're on a bolster, you're tilting your pelvis forward a lot more, and you're adding hip flexion. It's a big anatomical discussion, as in that you don't need to kind of know that, but it makes Lotus way easier. Okay, the minute you bring your knee in and bend, it makes Lotus easier. So you can do it like that if it's something that play. The only reason I would say do it, okay, is part of a yoga practice journey, because when you do Lotus in inversions, in a headstand or in a handstand, you have to bend the hips in order to, because you've got no hands, to slide your leg into those positions. You can't do it with straight legs. So that's the only way. If I was teaching an advanced class, that's exactly how I would teach Lotus in inversions, is I would have people against the wall, with their bum against the wall, bending their hips, trying to slide their leg in. So that's why I would be doing it. So play with it for fun. It's not going to increase your ability to do it on the floor, but one day when you want to do Lotus in a handstand, it'll help. Okay, so that's the answer to that. All right, okay, so let's do long bridge. Okay, I'm not quite sure. What I want you to do is I can just actually show you here, and we'll go straight into wheel from here, all right? So lie down on the ground in your bridge. I'm presuming, Dee, did you want it with the arms interlaced, or do you just have your arms out to the side?
I'm sorry. I wanted the way I have to do it for Laura. That's all.
Wait, but I don't think you have to do long bridge for Laura. Does anybody know about the long bridge? Are you talking about Purvottasana? I don't know. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Dee, because I don't know any long bridge. Linda, what? Sorry.
We did our pose review this morning, and we went through all of the poses, and we only did bridge. Yeah. And then you with the options of moving your shoulders in or whatever. But the other one, like Alice just said, was reverse plank that we did as well.
Reverse. So that's what I'm wondering, which I call.
I'm wondering if I'm not thinking of that. When you're on your hands, and your hands are facing forward, and you yeah. Can you show us that?
That's the one. Okay, so Purvottasana. So in yoga, there's two versions. Well, there's a lot of versions, but the main thing is they're just two versions. So you're either going to be doing I think maybe this is what you're referring to, Dee, for the first one, when you say short and long, is you can do a tabletop. Okay, so there's that, or you can do the long one, where your legs are here and your hands are here, and then you're up like that. I think that's what you're asking, Dee, or not?
I think it is, but I find that really difficult. I think it's maybe this forearm thing again, or is it shoulder strength?
Okay, let's all do it because it's quite a little nice, quite good prep for, calf cramp. Wheel. Okay, up you go. Lie down. Do a normal tabletop for me. Yeah, good. So, Clara, your hands are too close to your bum. Take them back a little bit. Yeah, nice, Laura. Okay, Michaela, bum up more. It's also just because you're close to the wall, so your head's kind of in the way. Bum up. Hey, Sinead, rocking it. Nice. Okay, so that's it. D, that's good. Okay, then come down and try and do a long one. Miley, looks good. You have to really squeeze your bum. Yeah, looking good. That's it, D, just don't drop your head. What's wrong with that? That looks good. Laura's probably shouting at you to squeeze your bum more and push your hips up. Wrists feeling it. Okay, so we can see lots of strength work needed. Looking good, guys. All of you, Elaine, look good. Okay, all right. Now, wheel. Okay. So wheel is done in stages. As a teacher, okay, it's done in stages. Some of you are just going to rock wheel, you put your hands in the position and then you'll push up, okay? But if you're not feeling strong in the arms, like Dee is saying, fundamentally what wheel is a push-up, right? That's what it's doing. You're pushing up. So you have to be quite strong in your triceps, right? So let's see where you are in wheel. Let's lie down and let's do a couple of bridges first, like maybe interlace your shoulders. If you're not feeling at all ready, like Elaine, to go up, don't go up into full wheel with your shoulders dodgy. Okay, wheel is a tough pose for a lot of people. Okay. Play around with your shoulders a little bit in bridge. Roll your shoulders under. Go up and down a little bit. Let's maybe come down a bit and let's do some twists there. The knees into chest. And then twisting to the side. Let's get that spine nice and juicy and warmed up. You've done quite a few arm balances, so your wrists are up. Nice twist, your versions of twists. Arms above the head even maybe. If you're near a wall, you can even push into a wall. Take your arms way above your head. Yes, nice. Couple of bridges again, just warming up your spine, knees into chest. Weirdly, I like happy baby as Sinead's doing for wheel as well. It really juices up my lower back. And another strange fact is I really like putting my feet behind my head in happy baby pose for a prep for bridge, because it's a big back stretch. Sinead, nice, do that. Do that. Yeah, and what Amy's doing as well, halasana, stretching out your spinal muscles. Yeah, you don't want to go mad. Even halasana where your knees are on your forehead or crossed legs, etc. And then let's see where you go with bridge. I mean, not bridge, that other thing, wheel. Okay, bring your hands into your position. Okay, everybody can bring their hands into the position. Yeah, that's it. Everybody can bring their legs into the position. Okay, good. And then either stay there or push up onto the crown of your head. Nice, Miley. Or into full wheel. That's it. Amy, come up onto your toes. Yes, that's it. Yes, and now push more into your shoulders. Yes, good, looking good. Wow, Nicole, you've got quite a back bend there. Michaela too, gosh. Alice, excellent. I love the toes. Love the toes. Please don't stay there forever and ever unless you love it, which some people really love it there. You can see Clara really loves it. Look at Alice on her toes. I love that. That's great. Okay. Clara, you saying something? Alice is it's like a picture of her. She's been there for so long. I actually thought it was a picture at first. Nice, Alice. Okay. So, any questions around that?
So I can get up in one push.
Yeah.
I like kind of block myself up or like do it in stages. So I was just wondering how I can practice that. I'm guessing it's arm strength.
Practice what? Oh, coming up in stages.
Coming up.
Sorry, you keep cutting out a little bit. So are you asking, are you saying that you can just come up with like one push, like a lot of momentum, and you want to come up slower, or is it the other way around?
I guess kind of both. I don't know if you can hear me now, but yes. I can get up in like 2 steps, and I would like to be able to do it in one push, kind of controlled, or with the momentum. But I don't know. I don't understand how, and maybe it's just because I'm not strong enough that it's not happening.
For your back bend, I would say that you can come up quite easily in one push because you've got quite a decent back bend. Normally people have to do it in stages, like I've got to do it in stages because my arms, I can't, if you look here, this is also, if teachers come and tell you where your elbows should be and your hands should be, just smack them and tell them to go away, all right? So when I put, you can see, if I put my fingers facing down, can you see how my elbows go? Okay, if I bring my elbows in, look what happens to my hands. Can you see? Sorry, let me do that. So facing down, hands like this, my elbows have to go out, right? If teachers then come and go, ooh, no, you must have your elbows together, but then my hands turn out because it's the shape of my carrying angle. It's the shape of my arms. They're kind of slightly, they're weirdly, this is more externally rotated, it's complex, right? Called a carrying angle. So what that means is that I can't get my, just literally a shape. I can't get the shape right to push up if my fingers are facing down. So I have to come up onto my head, gives me more space. I then reposition my hands and then I push up. So I can come up in one go, but my arms go, my hands literally jut out from the push. So that's normally the reason that we go onto the head and also a strength thing, okay? The push up in one go is a momentum thing. It's like this, 1, 2, go, push. It's a momentum thing. And what often happens in wheel, I would say in the majority of people, especially if their backs are not that flexy or their shoulders are not that flexy, the majority of people do not use their legs enough. And I would say that that's probably why you're not pushing up in one go. You're not using your legs, okay? So people are so focused on this bit that they forget. I mean, the best way to kind of prove it to yourself, I'll get to you now, Dee. The best way to prove it to yourself is don't use your legs and try to push up. Nothing's going to happen, okay? Try. Don't use your legs. Just don't use your glutes. Don't use anything and try and push up. You see, no, you're using your legs. You can't. You have to push up hard with your legs. Yes, there you go. Okay, your legs do the pushing for you. Your arms cannot, unless you can do a handstand push-up, right? Which I cannot do. If you do a handstand push-up, then your arms could maybe get you up alone. Most of the work is coming from your legs, but our brains are much more focused in on our arms. Okay, that's what we think about when we're in wheel, right? We go, okay, push, whatever, but it's actually our legs that need the push. And that's why for a lot of people, not so much you, Clara, because your back bend's quite back bendy, a lot of people, if you teach them to push up and come up onto their toes immediately, it really concentrates their mind on what their legs are doing, because it's the push of the legs that actually creates the shape along with flexibility. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I could already feel the difference with the legs.
Legs, and the best way to do it is start to really focus your legs. Instead of having your feet flat, when you start to push up, beyond the ball of your foot, because then your brain just goes, oh, leg, 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 leg. What are my legs doing? And then you can come up really high. Okay, so it's just a play with all of those things. Dee, you had a question?
Yes, my question is, Ms. Wilkinson, what is the minimum requirement for this pose, please?
There's no minimum requirement. This is just fun.
Oh, but I mean, Laura.
No requirement from law. It's not a pose that you have to be able to do. Bridge, you have to be able to do. Okay, it's not a pose that you have to be able to do because it's a very complex pose for most people, right? But it doesn't mean that because you can't do it, that you may want to be able to do it in the future. And if you're a teacher, you need to feel confident that if you are teaching a class and you're offering bridge, that you need to be able to recognize that there are people in your class that can do wheel, and that maybe you can offer it to them, okay? Even if you're just teaching bridge. So it's like, because people would like to, you know, it's an expression of their spine. It's a nice thing to be able to offer, right? And so therefore you need to understand it a little bit, you know, you need to understand where the push is coming from, and all of that is in your manual. Does that make sense, Dee? Cool. All right. So any questions around wheel, personal ones, I can't do because, anything like that? Or are you all good? All good? All right. Okay. Last pose, and then I will let you all go, all right, is hurdlers. Ekapadakundiyasana 2. So it's taught in lots of different ways. Okay? It is taught, as Clara was demonstrating it, from the bent knee position, or it can be taught from a lunge position as well. There's a lot of other ways of doing it, but these are the sort of basic ones that I will show you today. Again, the key for this pose is you're almost in a splits, but not really. Your front leg is out to the side. Okay? It's in a slightly out to the side leg, and your back leg is off the floor. So that's kind of what the shape of the pose is. Depending on your level of flexibility in splits, it can be more straight, okay? But then you also have to get your body under your thigh. So that adds a whole other element of things. Because you're in this shape and you're along the line, and your arms are chaturanga arms, like most of the arm balances we do. They're quite low chaturanga arms. So when we lean to get that back leg up, we're actually quite close to the ground, right? You don't fall pretty much in the pose. Okay, touch wood, nobody does. But it's really close to the ground. So a good way of doing it, like Annalise and Alice were doing earlier, is turn your head. Okay? If it's bothering you, just turn your head to the side. But you'll see I have to go forward I can't go up. Like in a Bakasana, we go a little bit up and then sort of down, okay? In this pose, I have to go forward because otherwise my face will literally hit the ground. So there's different ways of coming into, I think most of the time it's taught with the bent leg. Coming in, spotlight. Okay, coming in from a downward dog. So normally, it's a kind of position yourself in downward dog. And again, it's always about this shape, okay? Bending your arm shape. So then I bring my upper thigh to here, and I've got slidey pants on. I'll show you from the front. I collapse onto my other arm, right? Then I lean forward, and then I straighten out my leg, okay? So it is, sorry, you just bring click. It is a chaturanga arm. But what the key is the one arm. Run, this is going to be very interesting to see how your left arm does here. Okay? The one arm is supporting your leg. The other arm is here. Can you see? Into my body. Right? So I have to collapse down onto this arm. If you're very strong, Ruan, only one in the group, right? You can do it with your arm out to the side, but most women will do it with their arm here. So if I show you from the front, and I'll show you the other version afterwards. Okay, right? I come forward, here's my leg, and then, can you see how I bend my elbow out to the side? Okay, so I've got my shove. Then, flicking my head to the other side, I'm going to collapse onto this arm. And I'm in there. And then I lean forward, and you can see how close my face is to the ground. So blocks sometimes are a good idea. I prefer the other version, which I'll show you afterwards. Questions, anyone? Or do you just want to try it? I know Clara just wants to try it, and Sinead is giggling, so clearly wants to try it. Yeah, you have to collapse onto that left arm, otherwise ain't happening. Yeah. I think all of you can go from downward dog to get your knee on. Yes, that's it. Don't, yeah, that's it. That's it. There you go. Oh, Rowan, turn your head to the side, Rowan. Yes, there we go. There we go, rocking it on your left arm too. Okay, so you can see where Sinead is. There, good collapsing, Sinead. Now put your face on the ground. Yes. And you wonder why we want to do these things. Okay, so Sinead, for you, I would say blocks, because it's going to give you more room to lean so the back leg comes up, right? And if you look at Rowan, he's, yes, there we go. I don't know if his chin's on the ground. No, I think it was off at that time. Yeah, but you're literally leaning forward. And what it depends on your arm length. My arms are very short, as you guys know. So I don't have much space to lean. So if I want to have my head off the floor, I have to turn my head. Okay, but it's a position. Yes, 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 yes. And now we need that back leg up. So again, that's more coming forward, because you're just doing down. You need to do both. Come forward. We'll try the other version, which is, I think, a bit harder. Okay. Yeah, and you can see with Clara, look how much clearance she has. Her head is hardly on the ground, so I would imagine her arms are not the shortest in the world. Okay, she's got a huge amount of clearance. All about proportions. Yes, Annalise. And then there was a collapse. There we go. No, do it. It's good. Because the point is of just leaning forward on that thing. It's fancy to get your back leg up, but you can still do most of the bits around it, right? Okay. Right. So I will show you. Yes, Elaine, good. It's a good strength builder. Excellent. Well done. Okay. And I will show you the other version of it. There's a lot of versions, but the other version is where you just put your, it's more of a splits version, which is why it's not taught. It's harder to get into. So it is where you come into it from a lunge. Come into it from a lunge, you put your arm underneath, okay? The arms out to the side. Literally, same thing happens, but it's more of a splits version. You're taking your leg forward and you're coming into it directly from splits. And that's the other way of doing it. It's more tricky because it's hard to get underneath your lungey thing. Just a different way of doing it. Okay, all right. Nicole's giving it a bash. Good for you, Nicole. Now you have to collapse on that right arm. Like you have to literally collapse and wriggle your foot forward. Yes, Nicole, except you weren't using your right arm. Your arm was free, which makes it way harder.
The arm's niggling a bit, so I'm like, I'm pushing myself. Sorry, but I'm hungry for it.
Yeah, go, but you've got it. It's there. I can see. Okay. Again, it's not a strength-based pose. It's a little bit of strength, arm strength, but it's mostly flexibility. It's mostly can you get yourself into that tricky shape in the pose. But we know Ryan's not that flexible, but he's just doing it with the bent leg version. It's all good, right? It's just movement. Okay. Yeah, you have to wriggle your leg a little bit further forward, Amy, when you do it. You don't have to do it, but yeah, you have to kind of wriggle that foot forward. And it's a big flexibility pose. Yes, yes, wriggle it even more forward. Okay. All right. Any other questions about anything? Are we done? You can go and have lunch and do homework. So you're nearly there. Just keep going. You're nearly there. You're doing good. Alice,
It's a bit of a random question, but I'd love to learn, I don't know if it's a skill or what it is to get my hands into prayer in the back.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if it's just like my joints or it's like sometimes I can, but it's a bit low, but it's just like this. And then sometimes I can, but it's never, yeah. So I'm just curious if there's like a technique.
Show me how you do it. Yep, that's it.
It's actually better than I have before. Usually it doesn't even get that close.
So for you, getting your hands into reverse namaste or whatever it's called is dependent on how wide your arms are and the flexibility of, and how wide your body is and the length of your arms and the flexibility of your wrists, pretty much. So if I've got big arms and a big body, it's going to be really difficult for me to get my arms behind my back. Okay? What I would be doing if I wanted to train it is I would be doing this action without just on the one side. So if can you see me here? So I would be doing this, okay, to get the action into the pose. Do it the other side, do it the other side. And then the rest of it is a wriggle. Also wrist flexibility, because in that pose, your wrists are seriously extended. The more, it depends on your body, on the proportions. Like if your wrists are, but when they go behind you, you're taking that range out, and you need to get your arms up. It's a wriggle. So I roll my body forward, but you did exactly this, Alice. So before you even get into this position, I roll and I literally go up as high as I can. Mushy hands, you can see they're not doing anything. And only then do I do this. So I wriggle them up before I put them into the prayer shape. Does that make sense? So, but look, I can get my hands up here. Where can you get your hand? Show me, Alice. Yeah, so she can get high up. Now do the other arm. There you go. Wriggle it up. Don't try to get into prayer. Just wriggle it up. Okay. Now, there you go. There you go. Isn't this so cute? There you go, Alice, way higher. You just need to play with that a little bit. But I think it's a right arm wrist thing. Do your right arm behind you. Just your right. Wriggle it up. Yeah, there you go. She can't, can you see she's not turning her hand? Turn your hand, Alice. Yeah. So there's where the restriction is. Okay? So Alice, what you were doing on the right is your hand is turned the other way, because there's not as much flexibility probably in your wrist, okay, on the right-hand side. So the left is going up really high, your palm is facing the right way, but the right, you will have to do a little bit of work, but you're about this much higher up your back. You're like way higher up already. So it's just, it's a range of movement thing, but it looks like you've got the potential to be, nothing stopping you from going up high. There's some wrist flexibility stuff going on in that arm. Does that answer it? Help a little bit? Cool. Clara.
I have a bit of a weird question, because I've realized, oh, it's banging here, that a few classes I've been to, teachers are like advising, like, you should eat, you shouldn't eat. Like, do you have any kind of opinion about that? What is good, or just what feels good?
I think it's up to you. You know, I think it's how your body works with how you know, and it really depends on what kind of practice you're about to do. So for me, when I used to teach in the mornings, that kind of thing, I found that I couldn't eat anything heavy. So I'd have something like a yogurt. That would be the only thing that, or maybe like a smoothie. That would be the thing that I could actually work with. But when I used to go to classes, to advanced classes that were 2 hours long, I would make sure I had boiled eggs. I'm not a vegan. Boiled eggs, whole wheat toast, like a big meal, well, not big meal, but like a substantial meal about 2 hours before, because that I would feel like I had enough energy, fuel to go for it. So it's kind of, you work it out for yourself. You know, we all have different ways of eating. You work it out for yourself. There is no right or wrong. you know, and teachers mustn't say, you must stop. And I don't want you guys to go out there and do that either, is to say you should do this or you should do that. You know, it's so individual dependent on how your body works and your body feels, you know. And if you're going to do inversions for 2 hours, you know, you might not want to be, you might want to eat like 3 hours beforehand, that type of thing. Sorry, again, no absolute answer. Annalise.
And so mine is a bit different. It's more about our homework. Where should we be now with the Seth Powell and the, what videos should we be like, kind of like having left to watch? I just want to check because it feels to me like I'm really behind.
No, philosophy, don't worry about the philosophy so much. What I'm more interested in, the videos that I want you to, that I think are very important to watch are the Where is Yoga Now? Modern Postural Yoga and Where is Yoga Now 1 and 2. Those are important. The Seth Powell one is on YouTube as well, so you can watch it later, but he's amazing. He's probably one of the best philosophy scholars out there, and I've done courses with a lot of them. He's incredibly accessible. He's gentle and kind and hugely knowledgeable and open and all those good things. So it's much more, philosophy is a really complex topic. And on a 200-hour course, on other yoga teacher training courses, what they do is they teach, and Divu was mentioning it last week, and that's because it's coming from her 200-hour course. They teach the Yoga Sutra. So it's one book that they teach. And out of that one book, they teach, I don't want to exaggerate because I haven't worked out the exact percentages, but I would say no more than 10% of that one book. That's what they teach on the yoga. And they have no idea why they're teaching it. It's just because that's what they've been taught. And it's not right. It's way more complex than that. So it's a really challenging topic to engage with on a 200-hour course. And so what I like to do is, you know, some people are going to be, quite a few of you that are really interested in it, and I've just done a deep dive into the videos, and then I would hope you take that further, and I've given you lots of resources to do it. And then others of you that are like, well, you know, I don't know, and I'm not that interested in it. And I get that because I'm not that interested in yin. Do you know what I mean? So I do get that, but I really feel very strongly that because it does have an Indian base, that it has got religious elements to it, that those 3 videos, the Modern Postural Yoga, What is Yoga, Where is Yoga Now 1 and 2, are absolutely key for you to watch and think about, that, because that is us honoring where this incredible tradition comes from. And that, I feel, is, we should all be doing that and thinking about things, not necessarily concluding, but I really feel very strongly that is very different from what is taught on other trainings, because they will just teach you, as Ndina was saying, the niyamas and the yamas from the Yoga Sutra, but it's like the tiniest bit of a hugely complex topic. So, and also what happens most of the time with and if you're interested in it, you watch the bit on the Yoga Sutra, which you kind of should have watched already, but you know, I get it, is that things like the niyamas and the yamas are translated for us to kind of please ourselves as new modern postural yoga. It's the same question about religion. No, we'll all go, no, yoga is not religious, but that's not the right answer. So and we're only doing it because we're adapting it to make us feel comfortable. So in the Where is Yoga Now, I talk about a case in America where, I don't know how many of you have watched it. Well, there's 2 cases, but one very big one that the Yoga Alliance got involved in, where school parents complained that yoga was being taught to kids in California. And the Yoga Alliance got behind it, etc. And the fight became, the defense hired a Harvard professor of religion. And she said categorically, it's in there, that yoga is religious. And there's papers and papers on it. And then the yoga Alliance side is going, no, 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 it's not. But what happened because of that? The Yoga Alliance and the school won the case. They were able to teach yoga to kids. But how they ended up having to do that was take out any reference to anything historical about yoga, any Sanskrit, anything like Shavasana, where it could be interpreted that. So they basically stripped it down to just bare movements. And my argument with that is that, not argument, my question is like, hang on a second, is that right? And then the Hindu American Foundation got involved and said, hang on, no, yoga is Indian. That's, you know, it doesn't mean we own it, but that's where it came from. And if you take all the bits out around it, then it's not yoga anymore. So there's your big argument, okay? And that I think is very important for us to at least consider, that know that that exists out there, that there's huge, huge debates and discussions about it. So that's what I would like you guys to understand, if anything, from this philosophy. But I'm not going to give you a test on it. I want you to answer those questions at the end. Hopefully you've watched some of it. I want you to consider and be open-minded, right? It's no different to me than modern research, right? That changes the way we believe movement. So it's on my Instagram thing this morning, that's why I'm sort of in my mind, is that, you know, we used to believe if you had an anterior tilted pelvis and an overarched spine, that would cause lower back pain, but the research has shown that that's not true. So then we change our mind. That's what we do when we research, okay? We change our mind because people find out new stuff, more studies are done, more people involved, and it's the same with philosophy. It's an ongoing question. And for some of you, and I know a couple of you, you're on a big deep dive into it, and there are no answers to this. There's just deep dive into it if you wish, but mostly I think that it's the correct ethical thing to do, to actually go, well, what is it? Is it a religion? And not just make it up that it's not, because some yoga teachers told you, right? Is it? Then there's no, it's not yes, and it's not no. It's been influenced and changed by religions. Some of it is. The Yoga Sutra is by its nature religious. So but that doesn't mean that your practice is religious. So I would like you to understand that, because I feel like we should honor this thing that we do. You know, if we're yoga teachers, and we talk about this a lot on the 300-hour courses, like we go out there and we say, I am a yoga teacher. Like when you go to do Pilates, the Pilates teacher doesn't have this mantra of Pilates teacher. Like yoga teachers have got a very, it's a different power that we have to an aerobics instructor, right? It's a different thing, because we bring in mind and we bring in emotion and we bring in mindfulness and meditation and how you move. And there's so much new age spirituality attached to it as well, that people believe is yoga history, but it's not. So there's so much going on that and obviously my absolute passion is research, is I want to know as much as I can know. And I want to also update what I know, so that when I talk to you guys, I can go, well, you know what, I used to think that, but now I've just done a big thing. So, and the same from philosophy. It's like, I never ever say stuff that I'm not 100% sure of without qualification. I never go, oh, this is this. I go, this is what is being considered. This is what else is being considered. My argument is this, but what about this? And that's normally why I have such long answers to everything. But I want you to have that questioning mind. And, you know, you don't have to deep dive, but it is good to know a bit about the history and where we are now and how it's changed. Long answer. Sorry, Annalise.
Sorry. Another thing is, how long after we are done will we have access to the course material on your website?
I normally do a month. Normally a month. And then, because I change it, so it's normally about a month for you to go and have a look at and things like that.
Yeah, it's just to have that reassurance that if there was still something that I didn't feel sure about, that I can still go and watch. Because it's like the philosophy is very new to me. I knew the basic stuff like the yamas and the niyamas and that kind of thing, like the yogic lifestyle, how, you know, it should be. That I kind of like, I have an understanding for that, but like the whole history I found very overwhelming. And I would really like to go back to that, just because I with me, if I have a bit of a repetition, then it sinks in. That first time I watch it, I don't get it. But then when I repeat it, then I start getting it.
The two most complex topics in the course are anatomy and philosophy. Literally, they are hugely complex. I mean, they are overwhelmingly complex, and it takes a long time to understand, and you just won't. Like I know this much about philosophy, and I know quite a bit now, you know, but I didn't know, you know, for a long time. So I understand it a little bit more now, but even me, I want to go and do more with probably Seth Powell, because he's been the best that I've found. But it's, you know, if you look at that yogic studies website, and for people like Elaine and Ruan, it's like, I would highly recommend going on. You can even do a free trial membership as well. Go look at what they've got. And you want to understand the Yoga Sutra, like go and do the 80-hour course on the one book. You know, it's a, so it just depends on your interest. But yeah, it absolutely, Annalise, it's there. You go look, and yeah, I just think I think a lot of stuff that is said out there by yoga teachers, like you just said, you know, how a yogic lifestyle should be, is actually doesn't exist. It's just stuff we've kind of made up as new age. We've attached new age spiritualism onto yoga. And it's like yogis, there's no yoga lifestyle. It can be a lot of different things. Do you know what I mean? It's like the ascetics, who were the people that really gave us postures, the beginning ones. They renounced society. You know, they went and lived in a mountain, in a cave, and held postures for a very long time. You know, so there isn't a yogic lifestyle as such. And people always use the Yoga Sutras and just go the niyamas and the yamas. But if you believe in the Yoga Sutras and you practice the niyamas and the yamas, it means you must be religious and choose a god. It means that you must never have sex. Never. And that means by yourself or with somebody else, right? Never. In fact, you must not even think about having sex. Or this is what a yogic lifestyle is according to the Yoga Sutras. It's harsh. These are for people, these books were developed for people that renounce society, like monks. You know, people who went on a religious pursuit and didn't have, you know, it was only in the 15th century that with Hatha Yoga, the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, that people started going, oh, hang on a second, maybe we can let the householders do this. Like, you don't have to like give up your partner and your kids and your whatever to do it, but that maybe we can
wine.
Yes, exactly. You know, so there's no absolutely. It's such a big field that you know, and you'll see things like yoga. You know, people say you have to be vegan to be, you know, on a yogic spiritual path, and then when you have to go, well, which yogic spiritual path are you on? You know, so it's a complex topic, right? Yeah. There you go. All right, I have babbled enough. Any more questions? But I think you all need to go now. Yes. All right, guys. I will only see you again, I think, on the 24th, because Laura's taking my slot tomorrow. Nasty, took my slot away. Okay, but we're done, right? Any questions, then please just let me know. Send me a message, all right? Okay, guys, have a lovely lunch. You're nearly there. Keep going, keep going. Keep going, not long to go. All right, have a good evening when you finish all of this. Oh, you've got Indiva and everybody next, it's going to be nice. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.